Hello, Max. Greetings from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Viktor Fursov. I am a research scientist at the Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences in Kiev, Ukraine. And I'm here in my kitchen, actually. Today, March 8th, 2015. And today, Women's Day. By the way, it's evening time, so I would like to greet all women again. Just because it's a Women's Day, so this will be just for whole year forward. Well, till the next. And I wish for all women just best, my greetings, the happiness, successes in their life, and of course love of their partners, their children, their friends, and this love forever for our women in Ukraine, in Russia, and all around the world who is watching this video. But again, I'm turning back to my kitchen. Well, I'm busy because, you know, in this time all men in Russia and Ukraine, they're busy maybe cooking, or at least they're eating something that was cooked by their beloved women. So, but that's a time for cooking, so I'm not only eating my biscuits as usual and sipping my tea, nice green tea from China probably. Well, and I enjoy myself. That's time again to tell you the story about something what you can see here at this table. And now at this table you can see just mushrooms. Well, now I'm preparing to cook mushrooms. Well, and my discovery was inside mushrooms. Yes, indeed, I bought it just in a market. Yes, in a market today. Yes, I was going back home from subway, from underground, and I bought these nice mushrooms, big one. So that's why I need to clean them, and I'm peeling them, the surface, big one like this, or this one, big one, or small one, and cleaning them again before cooking. And my story about animals which are living inside these mushrooms. Yes, inside these funny mushrooms. You can buy it in a market or in a supermarket. And occasionally, eventually, you can find something on the surface. Maybe not inside the mushroom, but on the surface of these tiny plates. Here, under the body of mushroom. That's the body, here some tiny plates. And here I found yesterday, 2 days ago, about 10-15 different small animals, about half of millimeter, and they were mites. Right, they were mites. I'm telling you, they were mites. When I told it for person who just was selling this mushroom, yes, for shop assistant, this lady today was very surprised. She said, mites? I'm afraid about it. These mites could come to me and they are dangerous. I said, no, these mites are not so dangerous. They are not dangerous for human being, for animal. These mites, they are living here on the mushroom. These mites, this is a special mushrooms mites. They are eating mushrooms. Yeah, that's very funny. I was always thinking that mushrooms were living somewhere in a greenhouse and were very clean, they're very sophisticated farming culture, so they should be very clean, very organic, nothing, nobody on the surface and inside. Don't worry, sometimes some tiny worms can be inside. These are larvae of flies, and sometimes on the surface you can find these tiny mushrooms, mites. I searched in internet and I found just very limited information about these mites, which are saprotrophic or like a phytophagous, where it's just actually mushroom ophagus. So they're eating mushrooms, they're eating mycelium, they're eating body of mushrooms, and then they're making something like a tunnels inside this body, so many of them. So if they're just multiplicated, there would be many of mites on the surface of a mushroom, so it's not very pleasant picture, I suppose. Even I collected 15-10 individuals in my tubes box. I always keep it with me, because, you know, always something I'm expecting to find something in the kitchen or outside in it. So I got, using my knife, and I used tube, and I used ethanol. I open tube and I put here in ethanol all, just one by one, 10, 11, 12, 15 different mites. Well, and I watch them under the microscope. So after this video you will see just yourself big picture of these mites. They're very strange. They're very strange. They have 4 pairs of legs, their body not round, they're not like a plate, they're not like an apple. Mites, this is actually subclass Acarina, which is belonging to class Arachnidae or spider forming. So I'm belonging to the type Arthropoda. So you see, subclass Acarina. These are mites, ticks as well. So the body of these mites will like a loaf of bread. Loaf of bread with 4 pairs of legs. Such a strange shape, and with, like here, like a special nose. This is a mouth parts, suck, cutting mouth parts of this strange mite. And these mites, about half of millimeter, were living on the surface of these mushrooms. Actually, under the body on these plates. So, under the body on these plates. So sometimes they are not visible, but when you are peeling them, you can be surprised and you can find these funny mites. So, and definitely, if you peel your mushrooms, you will delete this just surface. Maybe you will delete take off some mites. And actually, if you boil them, it will be not so dangerous for you. You will just boil mites. And of course, don't forget, these mites, they are not dangerous for your health. If too much of them, you will just wash mushrooms and take them off. But they will not remove to your body. So you will not be too much surprised. Don't be afraid too much of them. So they are not dangerous for your health or for your children, for your pets, for your cat, for your dog. So just remove them. And this is just a funny biological discovery which is showing that mushrooms, this is a wonderful food not only for you, but also for some other organisms, like very tiny organisms, of course some bacteria, microorganisms. And when these mites were eating the body of mushrooms, they were making these tunnels, these holes, and then bacterium were making here very dark color of these tunnels, the body of a mushroom becoming black, so it's not so clean, becoming not so clean, and not good for sale. I sent the photographs of these tiny mites to experts, acarologists. Well, I'm entomologist, but specialists, my friends, they're studying mites, they're studying ticks, these families, different Acaridae, Tarsonemidae, Ixodidae, a lot of families. The identification not so easy, it needs a microscope, it needs at least very good digital photograph with tiny details, because mites, as I said, very tiny, from 0.3 millimeter or 0.5 millimeter or just only 1 millimeter, even with legs will be half of millimeter, so very tiny. It needs time and very careful observation to identify the species of these mites. So I will tell you later and put under this video the description which I will suppose the species or family name of the mites which I found. And of course you will see the portrait of this mite after this my small tiny presentation about Ukrainian mites on mushrooms. And okay, I found also something else. I tell you that if you think that all these nice mushrooms in a supermarket were very much organic, so I wanted to say very much clean, because they're growing not somewhere in a field, but they're growing in a greenhouse, very clean, very sophisticated culture for these mushrooms, just only with very carefully done and sophisticated prepared soil, and cultivation is very sophisticated. I'm very doubtful about it, because all the farmers, at least some of these farmers, they use different chemicals just as nutrition for soil, so this nutrition can come to the mushrooms and then it can come to you, just to your dish, to your body. It can influence your health. So some of these strange farmers were using even insecticides, heavy insecticide treatments against tiny midges, tiny mosquitoes, or tiny flies which are eating bodies of mushrooms in their greenhouses. So you don't know about these insecticides, but we use it against them, against these tiny larvae of flies, against larvae of worms inside the greenhouse, so they can come again to your mushrooms. So that's why you need to be careful about content of these mushrooms. Actually, you need to boil them in the water, or maybe at least you can remove one time the water from boiled mushrooms, and then you can fry them, so at least they can be partially cleaned, and some of chemicals, some of substances unnecessary for your health will be removed, at least partially, because you know, mushroom is a very special organism. It's not an animal, it's a mushroom, it's not a plant, it's a mushroom. And mushroom has a very specific feature. It's attracting all chemicals from the substrate, from the soil where it's touched. It can be just on the special substrate, on soil, or substrate like a rotating wood, or just special soil on special substrate in a greenhouse. Anyway, just they will collect all the substances in their bodies. They're collecting, and the number of the substances is multiplicating inside these bodies. That's why be careful about what's going on inside. They're not always organic, they can be sometimes. Don't be with insecticides and other unnecessary nutritions and other unnecessary chemicals. Don't be fan of mushrooms. Don't eat them every day. Don't be just a great fan and just to remove all other your food, eat only mushrooms. You need to change something in your diet. Even some insecticides can be in apples, like this, or at least you can check them. If you see here some tiny holes on apples, we can understand that some worms, some small caterpillars lived in this made with tiny just hole in this apple, so they were not contaminated, and they're actually alive inside this apple. Why? Because they were not treated with insecticides. So probably these apples, they were treated with less number of insecticides rather than another one, which will be very clean, very nice, very round and red, maybe yellow colored, but with many chemicals inside. So be careful about your food, be careful about mushrooms, and don't worry about mites. As I told you the story, mites, they live everywhere, even in the kitchen, everywhere, just even inside mushrooms. But don't worry, these mites, they are not so dangerous for your health. If you boil them, they will not remove on your body. As I said, they are eating only mushrooms. So these mites, they are fan of mushrooms. They enjoy only mushrooms. They cannot remove on your pets, on your children, they cannot remove on your body. They will not bite you. Don't worry about it. They are not so dangerous. So this is a funny story about my visit to market, about buying mushrooms and about mice which are so happy to live on mushrooms, and I'm so happy to share this story with you. Maybe it was interesting for you, maybe it was surprising, maybe you will watch this mite after this my video, following this video, and will see this portrait and you will be afraid, you will be surprised. That's fun for me and I will enjoy it very much. So write comments after this video, subscribe to my channel and wait for my next video about animals from everywhere, here in a kitchen, in a field, in a garden, in a soil, inside apples, or maybe somewhere else. Or ask me any advice. As expert, as entomologist, I will tell you my opinion, my expert solution about your problem. So, if you like this video, press like, subscribe to the video, share this video with your friends, send it the link to your friends, say this funny guy who's talking stories about animals in a kitchen, in a mushroom, and I will be happy if someone else, some more people will watch this video and enjoy it as well, as I enjoy this video and spreading it for you and sharing my experience. Okay, and best greetings from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. I'm Viktor Fursov from Ukraine and I'm pleased to send you my greetings. Good luck and see you soon watching my video. Good luck!